In this episode, we're going to continue our anniversary trip. We started it in the last episode. I believe that was episode 71. This is a continuation of our anniversary trip to the Great Smoky Mountains, and I hope you'll stay tuned to the end when a coven of witches entices me to walk on glass. Oh, and then there was that rattlesnake. Hi, a lot of people call me Mr. Jack, and this is my wife, Miss Sherry. We are on the journey of a lifetime where sometimes the scenery is spectacular beyond description, but sometimes we do run into stormy weather. So just join us as we continue to learn about this precious gift that we call life. We hope that you'll climb aboard, fasten the seatbelt, and travel with us on Mr. Jack's journey. Making reservations at campgrounds is becoming difficult, if not impossible. The COVID panic is driving people away from regular resorts to go to the great outdoors. To find campgrounds, I use several apps to help me locate camping spaces, but this process is taking hours. There's really nothing available. We would have preferred to stay at a campground in the Smoky Mountain National Park, but there were none. We just lucked out to find this wonderful RV resort. It's just on the outskirts of Gatlinburg. It's called Camp Lakot. Now, if I were to describe it in a few words, I'd say this place is clean and friendly. The owners have quite an imagination, as evidenced by the playground camp store, the playground, the tool shed. And if you want to experience camping life, but let's say you don't have a camper, don't let that stop you. Because here you can rent a retro camper, you can rent a luxury tent. And they have some cabins up on the hillside. If you want more information about Camp Lakot, you can find them on the web, just www.camplakot.com. It's a great place to stay for about $50 a night. You have all the comforts of home, and it's only about 3 miles from downtown Gatlinburg. Camp Lakot RV Resort, it's about 10 minutes away from the Smoky Mountains. And many of the park scenes I shared with you in episode 71, but I want to share a few more. Before I do, I'm just going to get a little personal. You know, the current state of the world and our country is far better than the news and the social media proclaim. I know this in my heart, and I'm confident that God works all things for my good. Yet, I often feel stressed, perplexed. I feel anxious. And I find myself just wanting to run away from it all. And if I feel this way, I'm sure that some of you feel it too. I want you to rest assured that you are not alone. A few days ago, one of my Sunday school teachers sent a reference to one of King David's writings. I believe it was Psalm 55. And King David was an emotional and physical wreck. He was complaining to the Lord, and the voices of his enemies were so loud. He was feeling oppressed. He was feeling slandered and hated. He even wrote that he's so nervous and scared that he's trembling. Well, when I read those eternal words, I guess I feel a little bit better, knowing that King David, a man after God's own heart, had expressed so eloquently what I sometimes feel inside. And then in the same chapter, he wrote a few words that made me smile, because I think King David just wanted to go camping. Just like me, he needed to get away from it all. So as you watch this musical montage, I'm going to post what he said about getting away from it all. I got a good chuckle from it and found some comfort. Now, I told you to stay tuned to the end, and we're about there. I got to tell you about these witches and then the rattlesnake. Okay. Well, day 3 of our trip was kind of a slow start. Not because we're lazy. We just didn't keep track of time. I don't think we got out until about 10:30 that morning, and the only thing on our agenda was a drive through Roaring Fork Motor Trail. We got up and we had some scrambled eggs with cheese and bacon and Sherry's homemade cinnamon rolls. And then we drove the 3 miles into Gatlinburg, and we just lucked out to find a free parking space. Today we're in Gatlinburg. We wanted to ride the ski lift up to the top of the mountain yesterday, but we couldn't find any free parking. Parking in Gatlinburg is either a nightmare or it's expensive. Well, we have this little Honda Fit, and I was able to squeeze it into about half of a space. It would be nice to have a bigger, more luxurious Toad, but this small size Fit has its advantages. We decided to try our hand at ski lift again. Found a place to park. Prior to that, we were going to take the tram up to Over Gatlinburg, but the tram's not running. So just so you'll know. We walked about a block to the chairlift, and I realized it was kind of chilly that I needed my jacket. So Sherry went ahead to purchase the tickets, and I went back to the car for my jacket. I caught up with her at the lift. She was waiting for me with the ticket. It's a wristband now. And we've been riding this thing for 40-something years, and I can remember when the two of us could get on there for like $8, $10. Well, today, guess what? It's $55 for the two of us. 40 years ago, you just got on it for a quick ride to the top. You'd smile at the camera. You'd pay $5 for the picture and gaze down at Gatlinburg, from up there, and then you'd just ride back down. Well, today it's called Skylift Park, and I think that's a good reason. Everything is new. They take pictures at the top and they take pictures at the bottom, and the package prices are about $30. The ride up is, as usual, it's relaxing. As the chairs cross the river and head up to the top,
you too, buddy.
At the top, everything changes. So go back to the car and get some Jack Daniels and Coke. Is that glass? Is that why it's so scary? Thank you, sir. We spent hours up there. We walked through the gift shop with its assortment of what I call made in China garbage, and we found nothing of value there. There's a snack bar. They've got hot and cold snacks. They've got some soft drinks. They've got some coffee and hot chocolate. So it was sunny and the sunshine and the views from up there kept us outside rather than staying inside the shop. And I was kind of surprised when Sherry said, "Jack, there's a skywalk. Look, a swinging bridge. Do you want to walk across it?" I have a great fear of heights. I can control it most of the times. Gotta be brave. And I'd seen pictures of this bridge, but in my mind I'm always thinking, you're never gonna catch me on there. So I quickly said, sure. I had to do it. I had to be, brave and strong in front of my wife. I didn't control my fear. I just quickly stepped on it, and I vowed to look straight ahead, and I held onto the rail. The bridge pitched to the left and pitched to the right, and it was a gentle motion, I'll say that. They had it anchored pretty well. It wasn't bad, but I just wanted to make sure that each of my steps found something solid. Well, I was kind of slow, and Sherry was about 15 to 20 feet ahead of me, and about halfway across, I'm not really sure how to describe this, because I was holding my head up, and my gaze was straight forward. I became aware that the color of the boards beneath my feet were about to change. They had been brown, but now they look kind of blue. So I stopped and I looked down. It was glass. Yes, glass. I could see all the way to the bottom of the gorge. My steps slowed and then my feet just stopped as I neared the first section of glass. Well, I noticed that Sherry was still about
It's not the
20 feet
looking
ahead of
down,
me.
it's just stepping on it.
She had stopped and turned around to check on me, and I was frozen. I could not move. I wish I could tell you what was going on in my brain, but I really can't. I'll just have to say that I couldn't move. I wanted to. I knew that I could. I knew that it was safe, the bridge was safely engineered, and that, probably thousands of people have crossed it with no incident. So, go, I told myself. In my mind, I was about to go forward. I even kind of leaned forward a bit, but my feet weren't moving. Go, just take a step. Move 1 foot forward. That's what my brain was saying, somewhere way off in a galaxy far, far away. Well, my feet felt like lead, like they'd been Velcroed or Gorilla Glued in place. And Sherry was walking toward me, she was encouraging me, and then, I swear, it was a coven of old witches. They'd parked their brooms somewhere, and they were coming toward me on this new mode of travel, this glass bridge. And as they walked toward me, they began to chant their evil spell. I'm sure that's what they were doing. You can do this. It's not scary. Don't be afraid.
Okay, how big is that
And
snake?
they were waving their hands and arms in hocus pocus style. One tried to grab my arm, and then one of them screeched, "Let me help you and step into the abyss. Watch out for the rattlesnake." This is all true. I'm not making any of this up.
Just close your eyes and just go.
Okay, how big is that snake?
There's one behind you right here. Make you run. You can do it. 1, 2, 3, close eyes and go.
Oh,
Don't
Okay,
even look
everybody,
down.
you need some encouragement. Okay,
Come on. Look down. Just stay up. Stay up.
They got on their brooms and flew off. So there I am, standing there, this glass bridge in front of me. I said, okay, just move a foot. Just one, just put it on the glass. And then I had to look and say, I wondered if there really was a rattlesnake. Well, my foot didn't move. I was shouting, in my head to my foot, move. It did not. I could just hear the glass cracking and breaking. Sherry was about 10 feet away, and this mental war was just escalating. I can do this. I can do this. Just 1 foot. Just move 1 foot. Move your foot, Jack. Just slide your foot onto the glass. For the life of me, I could not make my foot move. And then it happened. A foot lifted from the solid plank. I was holding my breath, and that foot stepped out onto the glass. I just stared straight ahead, holding onto the rail. Sherry said I looked like a dead man. You remember the movie about Bernie, Weekend at Bernie's? She said I looked just like Bernie, just dead. I just walked across the glass bridge, all the way to the other side.
ha!
Look. And the thing is, come back, I looked down, it wasn't bad.
Well, it was just the thought of it.
Going through the glass?
Yeah. Exactly right. Just the thought of going through the glass did it.
Now coming back, it was a breeze. Don't get me wrong. I was aware that I was walking on glass, but I guess I kind of enjoyed it. Once back on the originating side, we found some deck chairs and enjoyed the sun. And like I said earlier, we spent hours up there and felt like we got our money's worth. Folks, we had a great trip. And just glad that you could join us for a few minutes. And I'm thankful for each and every one of you who have subscribed and you've stayed with us so far. I want to tell you, we never know what tomorrow holds, but we do know who holds tomorrow. So stay encouraged. We hope that you will subscribe to the channel, and if you do, make sure you hit that notification bell. There's also a like button, looks like, a thumbs up. We need all we can get because you are the ones who make this channel grow. The YouTube algorithms are looking for responses from y'all. So even if you, and then leave a comment. Even if it's just one word, just say howdy or hijack. But, if you say hijack, a word of wisdom, never say that in an airport. I'll just let you think about that. Okay. Anyhow, we hope we're going to reach more people, and it's your actions that prompt YouTube to suggest our channel to others. So now, next week, I'm going to be about 180 miles out into the Gulf of Mexico. I'm going to be on my brother's tournament fishing boat. We're hoping to bring back a prize blue marlin. And it'll take me a couple of weeks to get that video put together, but keep your eye out for that. Thanks again for staying with us, and we will see you on the next leg of Mr. Jack's journey. Oh, and tell your mom and him we said hey.